So the 80th anniversary of Thomas and Friends has come and gone. And there's been a lot of interesting celebrations. One of which that blew everybody away was the release of the Down the Mine 1983 pilot episode of Thomas and Friends with the original Ringo Starr voiceover. I've done a video on this pilot and my thoughts on it, so if you want to hear more about it, go and check it out. But this video was around a question that I put on my community tab, asking if Mattel should release a Down the Mine pilot DVD. And there was quite a lot of interest in that post, so I'm going to make a video on it. Now before I start, I just want to state that this is all my own personal opinions. Your thoughts will probably be different than mine, and it's the one thing that makes the Thomas fandom so unique. Now let me know in the comments how you would feel about a Down the Mine pilot Blu-ray or DVD release. All I ask is that you be respectful, and above all, enjoy the video. Okay? Let's dive in, and let's start with some of the pro points around why they should bring out a Thomas and Friends Down the Mine pilot DVD. For starters, it's a no-brainer. The reaction worldwide to the Down the Mine pilot was phenomenal. I knew the Thomas fans would go absolutely bonkers for it because this is what we've been wanting for a very, very long time. And sure enough, we did go bonkers for it because it's something we've been waiting for a very, very long time. But the worldwide reaction was something that I was the most surprised about. Mainstream news outlets, mainstream media coverage, mainstream social media coverage. It blew up. Everybody was talking about the Down the Mine pilot. It garnered buzz to a more mainstream audience. And that's something that Mattel's been trying to tap into for a very, very long time with the Thomas and Friends franchise. With it becoming more diverse in its casting choices, with it appealing to a younger demographic of babies and toddlers. Some of these points have been a hit, some of these points have been a miss. But the main takeaway is that Mattel craved the mainstream spotlight. And looking at what happened with this Down the Mine pilot release, they got that in bucket loads. So putting my Vulcan head on, for any Star Trek fans, the next logical step would be releasing it in some sort of physical media for people to go out and purchase. Another reason why I think the Down the Mine pilot DVD should be released is that fans do want it. I told you that I'm doing this video because when I put the post about this Down the Mine pilot DVD idea, there was interest in it. And that's just on my little channel. A lot of people had thoughts and opinions on it. A lot of people liked the post about it. So if there's that little pocket of demand about it on my channel, imagine what it would be like for a global audience. Because at the end of the day, this is a piece of history. It's something that is very rare in modern times. That's why the media ran with it so much, because the rarity of not only this Down the Mine pilot actually existing, but being found, restored to 4K quality, the original Ringo Starr voiceover being found, a new composition from co-composer Mike O'Donnell being added to it, and it being part of the 80th anniversary of the Railway series celebrations. It was a true lightning in a bottle moment for the franchise. Now, I'm not a guy that really thinks about no-brainers or slam dunk wins for anything, but I would say that this Down the Mine pilot is the closest to a slam dunk that Mattel have ever hit. They would be leaving money on the table if they did not release a physical DVD or Blu-ray copy of this episode, because there is money to be made, and we all know Mattel like to make money. And the third reason as to why they should bring out this DVD is that apparently it's been suggested already. Now I'm going off sources from my Thomas and Friends community tab, so please bear with me on this subject. Some of the fans stated that Ian McHugh, who got this pilot out for the 80th anniversary, as he promised, had stated that the Down the Mine pilot could be featured as a special bonus feature on a DVD. Now, I've had a little scour on the interwebs, but you know that I am a bit of a dinosaur, so finding it has been quite tricky for me. So if anybody has a link or a source to this Ian McHugh declaration, please put it in the comments below so that I can have a read of it, because it's got my curiosity piqued. And the reason it's got my curiosity piqued is because Ian McHugh has shown with this Down the Mine pilot that he is a man of his word. He said that he would have this Down the Mine pilot out by the 80th anniversary, and he kept his promise. So if he said that there's a chance of this coming out as a special feature on some sort of special DVD or Blu-ray, then I'm more inclined to trust Ian McHugh than I am Mattel. So all of this seems like a win-win situation. So let's get this pilot put on DVD and distributed to the masses, right? Come on, we're Thomas fans here. We all know that it's not as simple as that. So let's go into the cons as to why it's not as simple as Mattel just getting this onto DVD and Blu-ray and releasing it to the masses. And the first point is that they haven't released the entire franchise on DVD yet anyway. In terms of complete series DVDs, like Complete Series 1, Complete Series 2, etc., etc., they've only released up to Season 20. Seasons 21 to 24 have not been released as complete DVD sets at all. There's specials made here and there that have Series 21 to 24 episodes on them, but in terms of a complete Series 21 or a complete Series 22, complete Series 23, or complete Series 24, there is nothing. The fact that they've not done that to finish off the Thomas and Friends franchise in its original timeline adds a lot of doubts that they're ever going to release it. And it's because, like with a lot of Thomas and Friends episodes, it's already on YouTube. Mattel dropping the Down the Mine pilot episode on the Thomas and Friends YouTube channel was the smart move. Largest platform to hit the biggest target audience so that people could watch it as much as they wanted. And that was a success. It was also the easiest amount of work for the biggest return, because all they need to do after it was been restored, obviously, I'm not discounting all the hard work that was put into creating the episode, was just upload it to YouTube, get all your search engine optimizations done, nice thumbnail, and just watch the views fly in. A lot of work done out with this, and especially with all the interviews done before this dropped, which generated the media buzz. But the easiest option, upload video to YouTube, watch views come in. It's the long and short of the marketing plan. And if it gets you results, why argue with it? That's what Mattel will be thinking. They've done their job, they released it for the 80th anniversary, they've scored all those big boy brownie points, and they could rest on that for another 10 years until the 90th anniversary. And the high likelihood is that most people will have found a way to download that episode anyway, so they will have a copy of it digitally. And that ties me in nicely to the final point, streaming sites. Streaming sites such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and a whole lot more are so readily available that you can just log in and watch it whenever you want. My thoughts on streaming sites, it's a 50-50 with me. I love having physical copies of media because I love having the original, uncensored, uncut type of media that you went out, made a one-off purchase to buy, and it is yours for the rest of your life. I am a fan of physical media. But companies, however, do not agree with that. With subscription services, they can charge people X amount of pounds or dollars a month to watch content that if the viewing figures drop, they can very easily get rid of. They do this with shows all the time. Netflix is a particular one that has this bad reputation, and it's another thing that requires the least amount of work for companies such as Mattel, but also grants them more control. They could easily just decide, let's drop this Down the Mine pilot onto Amazon Prime, for example. Gets a big hit, everybody's happy, Amazon's making that sweet dollar, as is Mattel. But then when the profits start to run out on it, they just go, time to get rid of it. And tell the fans, we own this product, you don't, we can do whatever the flub we want with it. And then you've lost that media forever. So in Mattel's eyes, it could be a more profitable option and an easier option just to drop it on YouTube or a streaming site and just leave it be. So here's my final thoughts on whether Mattel should release Thomas and Friends pilot on DVD. I 100% think yes, they should. There is money to be made here. But I think it's going to take some convincing from Mattel to part with some of their sweet dollar to make this DVD happen. Most of the comments that were on my community post were all in favour of the DVD being released, but I think I'm going to go with a comment my dad put on this post, because it was a very to the point answer to this question. We will just have to wait and see. But if you didn't let me know in the comments in the community tab, let me know in the comments of this video how you would feel about a Thomas and Friends Down the Mine pilot DVD release. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep on chugging.